First of all, just describe for us India's drug distribution business. How are you changing it with technology now?
Hi, thanks for having me. Look, the most important thing to understand in India is that we are a country that has branded generics, which means that there are over 200,000 brands in the country. Our retail and distribution space is quite fragmented. We have over 600,000 retailers and we have over 60,000 wholesale distributors in the country. What happens as a result of the fragmentation and a large number of brands is that most ordinary Indians have an issue of availability, affordability, and accessibility of medicines. What players like us are doing are we are overlaying a digital layer on top of the existing physical infrastructure to ensure that patients get whatever medicines that they need in the shortest possible time. So players like us today, we have a tie-up directly with over 3,000 manufacturers. We have a tie-up with over 90,000 retailers in India. We have digital clinics that power over 6,000 clinicians, and we have over we have over 12 million registered users and 17 million monthly active users. And what our platform can do is effectively provide any medicine to any consumer in any zip code of the country, right? By connecting it to the local retailer that's part of the network and can ensure that authentic medicines are supplied there in a very short span of time.
Adoption certainly is a key focus for you. Tell us a little bit more of the challenges that you face in digitizing some of these mom and pop pharmacies.
Look, I think it's a steep curve in terms of getting digital access. And it's one thing to get the consumers hooked onto a digital ecosystem. It's an entirely different thing to get the entire supply chain digitized, right? So, to get, for example, we still don't have doctors writing digital prescriptions, right? But that's now rapidly growing. We didn't have retailers being completely digitized. That's also rapidly growing, right? So it's taken us a very long period of time to get this going. But the great, or I would say the silver lining in the adversity of COVID is that everybody's now realized the importance of digitization, from a mom and pop store to a doctor to a consumer. And I think the pace of digitization has greatly improved. And most importantly, the government's pushing really hard for the vision of Digital India. And we also now have the National Digital Health Mission, which is going to be an enabling framework to create an entirely digital healthcare ecosystem. So I don't think that as a country now we have to wait several decades to revamp our physical infrastructure. But just like the way in fintech, our UPI, which is the micro payments mechanism that powers now a very large part of our transactions, I believe that we'll have a framework which can power healthcare through a digital network on top of the existing physical network.
Right. Siddharth, you announced a $350 million funding round in April, but even prior to that, you were in the midst of a funding round that put your valuation at $1.8 billion. Give us the details. How's the round closed, and what can you tell us?
Sure. So we closed our Series E round in April that valued us at 1.8 billion, and we raised a total of 390 million as part of that round. We've just announced a close of our Series F round of another $500 million, and this effectively values the company at closer to $4 billion at this point of time. And we've seen marquee investors like Temasek, TPG Growth, Process, B Capital, Think Investments, and a local homegrown Kotak Private Equity participate as part of our Series F round.